Okay? So there's a couple things you need to do. The first is you must have 0 on one side. Must have 0 on one side. So you need to get 0 on one side if you need to. Okay? You need to use the graph to find the answers. Okay? Now, what would it mean to be greater than or equal to 0 or greater than 0 on a graph? What would that mean in terms of what your line is doing?
Just where does it hit below or below the x-axis?
It's not that it's going up. It's where is it above the x-axis. Yeah. So greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0 means your y values are positive.
And then when it wants to know less than, you're looking for under, right?
Yes. So if your question asks you for where is the equation greater than or equal to 0, greater than 0, you're asking where is it above the x-axis. If they say less than, you're looking for below the x-axis. Now the way you answer the question is going to be determined by what question they're asking. Or what inequality are they using? Are they using greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to? And it's also determined by whether your equation is concave up or concave down. Because that's going to affect where it's above or below the axis.
Is that measures?
Oh, I just left mine. No, I left mine. And no. Completely missed a letter. Okay? I would really want you guys to use the graph to answer all of these questions. I don't care what they're doing in the example. I guarantee it's kind of wacky.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah, we're going to do examples. I'm just telling you straight up. Use the graph for all of these questions. They're making like sign charts and they're doing all kinds of funky stuff in these. Where do these start? 25? Okay. X squared minus 3x is less than 0. Okay? So what I want to do is just graph this equation. X squared minus 3x. Graph that in your y1. And you can graph 0 in your y2. Now I already have 0 on one side, so I don't need to move anything around. Now, what you're looking for on the graph is determined by what question they asked. So you have to think about what question they asked. Okay? What did they ask me?
They want to know.
Less than 0.
Where is it less than 0? So where is this less than 0?
0 and 3.
It crosses here and here. In between there is where it's less than 0.
How do you answer 0, comma 3?
Well, it depends on what they ask for. Do they ask for an interval or an inequality? Inequality?
You gotta type all that in?
Okay? So how would I say between 0 and 3 is an inequality? This is what we talked about on probably the very first or second day. When it's between two numbers, you want to write a compound inequality. I would say 0 less than x remember that?
Yeah.
Have you already forgotten what we already did before? Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
0, less than, and that's how you type in the answer, right, for inequality?
Do we have vague memories of doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember, but
Yeah. So you gotta kinda dig that back up. When it's between two numbers, you wanna write x between those two numbers. Okay? So this means greater than 0, less than 3.
just in my head I just write 0 dash 3 or whatever.
Yeah. Now if they'd asked for an interval, I would say 0, 3. That would have been easier. But they didn't ask for that. Now, if they use the less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then you want to use the equal to in your answer. If they don't have the equal to in the problem, then don't use it in your answer. That's how you can decide whether or not to use the equal to.
So you always want to match the sign in your solution to what they have on the problem.
Yeah, or match the symbols in your
Right.
answer to what they have in the problem.
Right.
Mhm. Okay? So if that made somewhat sense, when you got that one, go ahead and try the next one. So, why did it not take that? I think because I have a caps lock on. Yeah, it does not like capital X. It only likes lowercase x. Well, you've lost your numbers. Go back to settings, your standard window, and graph. Yeah, yours is -3, right? So you need, if -3 is on the left, you need -3 on the left. Yeah, your 0 and -3 are backwards. If you guys have lost your tick marks, go to standard window and graph again. It'd just be -1 less than x.
Did you
You
get
don't
that
use
to
the
come
equal
in?
to because they didn't. Less than x, less than 7.
Yeah, it worked.
Or did I do it?
Do you have a space in there? Will there be
Did you look at the graph? You gotta use the, you gotta use the, you've gotta either look at it on the computer or you've gotta sketch
The
it.
-8 goes first?
But you sketched it. So it crossed at -1 and 4. And I know it's coming up, because this is positive. So I know it would look like this. So if they're looking for greater than or equal to 0, then they're looking for this part, or this part.
Now how do you put the 8 first? How did you know to put that 8 first?
It's dependent on,
Because
this
it's on the,
this is two,
it's not,
this
you want to
is
go
two
left to
separate
right when you're
regions.
looking at a graph.
If it's one region
So
between
since
two
your
numbers,
-8's all the way over here.
but if it's between two numbers, you can write
So
the x
the left
between
to right.
one inequality. Like the way they wrote this one, this would be like an in-between region. Like if I change that to a 4, that would mean the opposite. It would be -1 to 4. The outside is two separate things. The inside is just one thing. So you can write it as one thing. But that answer would be different. There you're answering the inside is positive. You gotta look at the graph. You gotta look at the graph. Okay.
So which one do yours say? It's asking for years.
Less than 0 means there is a negative.
For what years were there or will there be rising today?
Oh, zoom it in. Zoom it in. It's 9, okay. So 0 to 9.
There's a 90.
It's after 1980.
Yeah.
Or 1990.
If you would start now and try to get used to the graphing calculator, then It's
just
used
putting
in
2
them.
years. Why are you putting all of the little duplicates things in there?
So I think we'll do it first. And then, yeah,
See, they're not doing all that.
the inequality should always run with you.
They're just putting the 2 years separated by a comma.
Okay.
You don't use these
Euro.
You don't use
So 1990 and
You're gonna write it in compound ratio and then write as you look at
it was
less
weekly.
than this number and greater than this number. So it should be less than 3 o'clock. It's greater than equal to If they ask for positive, if they ask for greater than or equal to zero, so they're asking where is it positive. It's positive between here and here. If they'd ask for negative or something, it's
So 1990 and 20 years later.
Should be.
and that's where the equation is positive.
So, yeah, it's right. Yeah, that's not working.
That's not right.
No.
You already checked it?
Yes, I did.
Why are you?
Are you guys trying some other ones?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so since this graph is pointing down, does that always mean it's going to be?
No, you can't, it doesn't always work one way or the other.
Because it's just throwing me off. How do I know?
It depends on what they're asking for. Are they asking for above or below the axis? And which way is it curving? Is it curving up or down? There's really like 4 possibilities. Okay, but you can only tell from looking at the graph.
Courtney,
Yes.
am I doing this right?
9.2 million? Yes.
So I'm graphing at 9.2 million. And it only says the intersections are these
10 and 19?
Oh.
Yeah. So 1990 and
19.
1999.
Oh, we were one off.
That's it.
Oh, because I didn't have it zoomed out, that's why.
Now guys, you're not always gonna answer with a compound inequality. Sometimes you have to answer with 2 separate
That's what
ones.
your equation is. And then if they're wanting for 9.2, so you put that as 9.2, you graph them and say, look like this.
You guys wanna look at 27?
Yeah.
Before you do that, I
Let's
got
look
one
at,
thing.
never mind. Let's look at,
On 27, when you're doing that,
let's look at 29.
on that equality, I got my numbers, but now how do I make them into this?
That's what I was like, wow, okay.
Well, on your graph,
Yeah,
is
those
it
are my.
greater than 0 between those two? Show me your graph. Yeah, so it's greater than 0 between those two numbers. Okay? So you just write it like this. You just copy, it's always in this format, except with the 2 different numbers on the outside.
So it's going to be greater than 0?
No, less than is always less than.
You said to do all the work.
So a -3 is less than x,
Less
less
than.
than y. That's how I always put it in.
When your answer is between 2 numbers.
Okay.
Let's look at 29, you guys. 29.
That's what I'm on.
Okay? So what do I want to do here for 29?
Can I go back to
Let's do this one first and we can go back to something.
Okay.
Okay. This is one where you have to answer a little bit differently. Okay? So what do I need to do first here? Set it to 0. Subtract 16. So I have x squared minus 6x minus 16 less than 0.
how did you figure that?
Because they asked me for less than 0. Less than 0 means the graph is below the x-axis. So the graph itself is negative.
Let's talk about the negative 16. Gives us on the opposite side of the inequality.
Is that the wrong number?
Because wouldn't it become a positive 16?
No, it'd be negative. You gotta
Oh.
subtract the positive number.
I get it.
Now, can't you just type in x squared minus 6x in y1 and then 16 on y2?
Yes.
But that's not going to put your...
It's better to always do them this way. I'd prefer if you guys always did them this way with 0.
Okay, you can't put that into the graphing thing like that though, right?
Well, I moved the... I think I lost my writing here, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Did I lose it? Alright, so let me write that again. I subtracted... Okay, I subtracted 16.
Okay, and the reason you're doing that is because that less than sign, right, makes that a negative. Is that correct?
No. I have to make it negative in order to move it over. It started as positive.
Okay.
I'm looking for where is this below the x-axis.
Right.
Alright, I saved that time. Okay, and then we figured out from the graph that it's less than 0 between negative 2 and 8. Okay? Now if your answer is one region, like between two numbers, you write it as a compound inequality. Okay? If your answer was two separate regions, you have to write it as two inequalities. So the way people get messed up on these questions is they say like, well, if this is true, then my answer is going to be this, or if this is true, my answer is going to be this way. You can't tell that. It depends on what your graph looks like and what they're asking for. So you have to look at the graph and think about what they're asking for. Here, they're asking me for less than 0. That means between negative 2 and 8. If it's between two numbers, I can write it as an inequality. X is between negative 2 and 8. So it's less than 8, it's greater than negative 2.
Now, go back to the original problem. Okay, so when you get to that point, then you just go in and type it right into the graphing calculator.
Look at the graph. Now, what's one that has two...
Wait a minute, I got one more question.
Okay.
Now you got your minus 6x there, and you're minusing, what are you minusing? Okay, that's because that's an x number, so it's x squared. Okay. 4, 4, okay.
Now, if you guys have lost your tick marks, go to settings there, and do standard window. Yeah, you didn't use your inequalities. What problem is that?
This one right here is 31.
31? Now, do you guys want to go back to one that we skipped?
Go, can I see the graph on this 29 again?
I'm stuck on 31 too.
Did you guys want to go back to one, or can we go on to 31?
Didn't you want to go back to one?
I thought you answered my question, but now I'm not sure I'm doing it wrong.
Okay, then you go to intersection.
It's asking for when.
Negative 3 less than x less than 0.
That's
X
right.
is between, no, you don't have the x in there. Negative 3 less than x less than 0.
How do I know that it's asking for
If you're typing inequalities, you need, how do I know that it's asking for that answer? Because it says less than 0. It's less than 0 between here and here.
Okay, so I know that it's asking for X.
It's asking for negative.
You said 31's next?
Let's look at 31. Okay, 31 says 3x squared is greater than
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to, yes. Greater than or equal to 5 minus 2x. What do I do first? Get everything on one side.
So minus 3x. Well, actually, we just minus 5x.
It really doesn't matter. Do you guys want to move the 3x over? Or I would prefer to keep the x squared where it is. Even though that's more work. So I'd have to subtract 5 and plus 2x.
That would be a positive 2 then, right?
Yeah, so I would have 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 greater than or equal to 0.
And I did that. But that shouldn't happen.
So that's your answer?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going to look at the graph of. So once I get 0 on one side, I'm going to look at the graph and see where is it positive. Because they asked me for greater than or equal to 0. That means positive. Okay, so let's put in that equation. 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. And I kind of cheat a little bit. I don't erase everything. Saves me some time.
Oh, man. These are great big numbers.
You put a comma between the two commas.
Wait, hold on. Where do you have that?
31.
Yes.
And you're saying for 5.
Negative 1.5. Alright, so this is asking me where is the function positive? So I'm looking for where is my function positive? It's positive from here to here, it's negative. Right? From here on out, it's positive. So I've got two separate regions where the function is positive. It's positive from this point. Oh, come on, let me write, please. Please. Pretty please. There we go. So it's positive from this point all the way over to the left. Because that's where it goes above the axis. And it's positive from this point all the way over. Okay? So what I need to do is I need to figure out what those 2 points are and write 2 separate inequalities for those. Okay, so I'm going to have my x is less than this point over here, and x is greater than this point over here. Alright, it's 2 separate regions. I'm going to have to write 2 separate inequalities. Okay, so the way what I'm looking for here depends on what they ask me. They ask me for greater than or equal to 0. So I'm looking for the positive part of the graph. Okay? Which is 2 separate regions in this case. Alright, so I'm going to use my intersection to actually find what those points are. Now I think they on the question they wanted them rounded to 2 separate decimal places. What is that? Oh, it's just round. It's not getting quite to 0 there. So I've got negative 1.6667 and positive 1. So the way I would write my answer is x is less than negative 1.6667, comma, x is greater than 1. Okay, that's where this function is positive. It's positive when x is less than this number. It's positive when x is greater than this number. Okay? So you've got to think about what your answer should be depending on...
It's okay to round it to the 2 decimals then?
No, you want it... I think the directions said 4 decimal places. Right?
Mine says 3. Hers
Does it say 3?
Round to 3 decimals.
Oh, 3 decimal places.
So